Right, we're now going to paint in a waterfall on this railway diorama. I'm going to make the waterfall without resins, so this is just going to be painted, kind of a painted illusion, so we're not using any resins here, maybe some PVA bonding. So what we're going to do first is we want a darker background, because if you look behind the waterfalls you'll see that it's darker with the depth of the water. So I want to give an illusion of depth. So first layer we want to paint some brown in there. So I'll just take a little bit of some burnt umber, just dilute it very slightly, and then paint in what you could call the bottom of the pool, the residual pool from the waterfall. So we just paint that in there, and then the same at the back, which is kind of, so that'll be behind, so to speak, behind the waterfall. That's here. You can see that there. That's these areas here. Dark. So we darken that. If you've only got a light brown, put a touch of black in it. That will darken it. So we just keep working away on that. We'll darken that until we're ready for the next layer. Right, now you can see we've substantially darkened the background for the waterfall there with a nice darker brown. So that's ready for the next layer now. Whilst we're waiting for the waterfall base painting to dry, we're going to make some trees, just to add a little flourish to the natural scenery, or natural looking scenery. So to make some trees, just find some packaging foam like that. It's quite solid stuff, and you cut it into tree shapes like that. Then once you've done that, paint them up using different tones, greens and browns. You have a little tree to go up in the rocks. Almost falls off. There we are. Trees. So we'll place a few of those. Place a few of the trees strategically on the rocks at the top there. Right, back to the waterfall. To paint our trees, just stick the foam on the end of a cocktail stick. It's much easier to hold it for painting. Don't get it all over your hands, and you can paint the whole of the tree, or paint the whole of anything, whatever you've put on there. So we put our dark green on, so then you can add lighter tones once it's dry. Because it's thick sponge, it does kind of soak it up a bit, so you might have to do 2 layers. And don't forget, you can always coat these with a varnish, like an acrylic art varnish afterwards. You don't have to do that, it just makes them a bit more durable. They'll just last a bit longer. At least that's the idea. And once we've painted the first coat, there we are. Just stick it in some blue tack or some more foam where they can dry, and then you can start and paint the next one. Well, I didn't think the background for the waterfall was dark enough, so I've taken some black, acrylic black, one thin layer, and glazed it over the brown. So just take dilute the acrylic, it's almost watercolour, and then just glaze that over the surface of the brown paint that you've already applied. Mainly down the middle of the waterfall's planned route. Just paint it down, mainly down the middle, leave some lighter brown at the sides, so you give that illusion of depth in the middle. What we mustn't forget to do now is to tone down the rocks with a dark umber wash. It's got some black in it, not too much, very thin. So if we tone down, give it very light, very thin covering over all of it. That tones down the kind of harshness or glare of just having kind of a white grey painted rocks. So that's just to tone it down. Do that all over the rocky areas, also on the vegetation, but it's basically a glaze. It's not thick paint, it's very thin glaze. I mean, once the model's completed, you can actually varnish the whole model in a clear acrylic varnish. You don't have to do that, but it just makes the model more durable over time, protects the paint. So it's not really necessary, but if you feel that way inclined, and go ahead and varnish it. Also, varnish can have effect of unifying all the paintwork, sort of pulling it all together. But we are only making a railway diorama, it's not really a sculpture or anything, but even so, it's pleasurable to get a good result. Hope you can see. Okay, so hopefully you can see inside there through those rocks into where the waterfall's forming. Now what I've done there, I've just layered over some PVA bond, some glue. It's not quite dry, it looks whiter than it should. That's just to give the paint more of a translucent effect, more of a watery effect, slightly glistening when it's dried. So that won't take long to dry. Then when it does, I will paint another layer of white, or layers of white, which are meant to mimic the effects of falling water, and that should be the final painting on the waterfall, and then I'll varnish again over that. So the next video, I was hoping this would be the last video for this and be able to keep all the stages of progress, on one video for people, but it looks like it's going to be one more video as kind of final reveal of a diorama piece. So thanks for watching and staying with this, and I'll see you on the next video.